It's good to do things in groups because they'll hold you accountable.
It's the same with these TikToks and stuff. The money's coming, but it's coming fast. And just as quick as it comes, they spend it. So it'd be interesting to see the world in 30 years.
The best way to do anything, see any kind of group, you have to take some inventory every once in a while. One of the things I learned is relationships are like dig into it because that's all we have. Like money don't matter, jobs don't matter. How much weight we lose sometimes don't matter. But this that we have right here with us matters so much.
Come out to play.
Oh, it's time to do it again on another Wednesday. Happy Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You are watching Rebrand. Y'all be sure to do us a favor and go ahead and share this show. Before we get the show started, I got a wonderful co-host that I want to talk to tonight. What's up, Yashika? How you doing?
What? Did I win the lottery? It must be my birthday.
You first tonight.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Shocked.
Too off. She wasn't ready. She thought she was going last.
Yep.
Sometimes
that's usually what they save the best for.
Okay, well, let's see who goes next then. What's up, Ace? How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody out there in TV land?
Hey, Ace.
Hey, y'all do us a favor, click that share button. Don't forget to share tonight's show. Tonight we're talking bigger than black. But before we jump into it, let's talk all the way to California to last but not least, and most certainly save the best for last. What's up, Helen? Tell us all about it.
Hey y'all. Hey, good to be here. Listen, good to be here.
Go ahead and tell them where they can see you in other places.
Podcast. I have a podcast as well. Thank you. It's on Spotify, Apple, Google, all the things. There should be a new episode dropping Monday. Yeah.
All right, I'm excited to see it every time. If you don't know where the link is, just go to Rebrand Us on Facebook, and we have a link in there, and you can always just kind of catch the rest of them from there. But anyway, y'all, we got a great show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Bigger than Black History Month. It's another conversation that we want to kind of dive in, and we're going to just kind of go all over the place with this. But we also want to talk a little bit about, our President Musk.
Right.
No, definitely want to talk about I didn't know if anybody would catch that. Super Bowl halftime show. Was it amazing? Was it not amazing? We want to talk about all these things. Tonight, we're going to have a great time. So anyway, let's go ahead and get ready to jump on in. First of all, I'm going to throw the question out. Bigger than black is our topic for tonight. Is there any one person? You know what? I'm going to start off this direction. Who would be the leader of the black community if we had to say, this is the person that we want to replace Malcolm and Martin?
Right now, in this day and age?
Yes. Is there someone?
I guess I would say Obama. No?
Yeah, I guess he would be ideal. Either him or Michael Collier.
Okay.
Whoever that is.
You asking about the leader?
I can't think of nobody.
You know what? I think it's a really good question, and I think I unfortunately don't think we're in the world of one individual leader. The crab in the barrel idea is just too strong. People don't want to see one person be the leader. Everybody else wants to be the leader in their own little small groups. So I personally believe we need a group, a company, an organization based off this, just for this one reason. And unfortunately, NAACP and what's the one that just came out a few years ago? The
Black Lives Matter.
Black
Lives Matter. Those, unfortunately, I think NAACP might be a little bit out. It's out of its time. Yeah. Black Lives Matter was kind of voted out. I don't know if there's any organization out there. Maybe Rebrand Us podcast. Who knows?
Yeah, I would say Rebrand Us, definitely. Organization wise.
Deborah Gibson says Michelle Obama. You know what? I can see that. Kiki Washington says, "Hello, everyone. What's up, Kiki? How you doing?
What's going on now?"
I think that's funny when you say, it's so many crabs in a barrel. Everybody wants to be leaders in their groups, but really, do they really want to be leaders, or they want to be leaders because the leaders are leaders?
Leaders because the leaders.
Usually, people are cool until there's somebody that's doing a little bit better. Then that's when there's the problem. But as long as we down here together.
You don't need to be a leader. Not until there's a leader. And who told you could be the leader?
Because the leader is so sexy, so elegant, so it looks good. It's not about what comes along with it.
Describing me, I guess I'm a leader.
Lead on, huh?
Well, hell, Anthony, you got the potential. You could lead us. You know what? Let me take the lead then. How's that? If I was the leader, but see, the thing is, I think the issue that I have with leadership in this community, I think old school. Old school, Helen, was whenever in the 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, the years before, we all lived in groups. We lived in one neighborhood. So it's easy to lead when you're all next to each other talking about the situation. But nowadays, even though now we have all the social medias and all that thing, but everybody can kind of tap into your social media now. So everybody can kind of see what you got going on. I say everybody, I'm talking about people outside of the group that you're trying to target. So if you're not living next to the people that you're trying to be like, it's really tough for me to think that you can have a community anymore. I don't think that you commune, you don't come together. And if you have one Black-owned grocery store, for example, in the middle of the city that I live in, well, I live in a city that's such a plethora of everybody that's no Black community that really is it a Black-owned grocery store? It's just a grocery store at that point. And so what's the meaning behind it? But leadership is not the same leadership that we had before. Because that selfless attitude, I'm willing to die for the cause I can't see too many people doing that anymore. So it'll be hard to name the number one leader.
Yeah, definitely some solid.
Yeah. I don't think we got it.
I don't think so either. So as y'all know, today and this month is Black History Month, bigger than Black. So what does that topic mean? Go ahead, Ishika.
Oh, I'm gonna pass it to Helen.
Yeah. So essentially, I would say, for me, it means. Sorry, y'all. My eyelash is doing too much. Essentially, is when you can be bought.
Wow.
I believe this conversation came up a few weeks ago when we were talking and we were meeting, and we just, we're talking about the state of our country and how, which I'm sure we'll get into later, Snoop Dogg had a price, right? A few years ago, he didn't. This shit did. And I think at some point, you should not be able to be bought. And your Blackness, to me, has to be that point. We've given up enough. And at some point, I think, I think I'm rambling now. Y'all get it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I've heard so many people say over the years that Black people are some of the most forgiving people and will accept everybody back. I guess the real question is it worth accepting everybody back if they quote unquote apologize? For example, Kanye West. When I look at Kanye West has forgotten who his Black self is. Now, we'll get into that a little bit later. What does it mean to be Black? And Ace, you and I were talking about is racism truly still alive? And how do we know? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Kanye kind of abandoned all culture. Kanye abandoned common sense. I truly don't believe Kanye is a mental issue. Yeah. I think Kanye is being Kanye. He says it in his songs. How he's so arrogant and all those things. But can we and should we or do we accept Kanye back if he say, you know what, let me go back to my old Kanye self. Let me make some great music. Let me marry me a Black woman, whatever the case may be. Do we accept him back?
Yeah, he crazy. You gotta let Kanye back. That's just that crazy cousin. He cussed everybody out at dinner, but he was just off his meds.
You can't cuss me out at dinner every time we get together and have dinner.
Plus he made College Dropout. I think that kind of believable.
I don't know, because I agree. I think again that like being forgiving goes in tandem with boundaries. Because if you're too forgiving, you don't have boundaries, and at some point that means there's not enough self-respect, maybe that how you're viewed and how people use your talents or whatever it is. Advantages, like take advantage of the situation. And even if you keep forgetting, at some point I think the bottom, like the subconscious mind is to hope that this person's like, okay, well dang, if I can just take, maybe I should stop taking because I know that they'll give. Like I don't have to, because I'm greedy. Like every time I ask, they say yes, so maybe let me slow down. But usually greedy people don't think that way. So
let's go to the comments. Corey Rao, what's up, Corey Jackson?
Corey, what's going on?
Hey. Chris Bell says, anyone ever listen to the rapper Killer Mike from Atlanta? Listen to him speak on his community. Great speaker. Actually, I've never really been a big Killer Mike fan.
I'm a fan of his speaking. You know, his rap is, so to me, but I'm a fan of his speaking. He definitely has something to say.
All right, so I'm gonna show a video real quick. I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel about this video. Now, let me set the video up. First of all, I'm a huge Jerry Seinfeld fan. Okay, Jerry Seinfeld is one of my favorite, not really stand-up comedians, but comedians nonetheless, right? And he's on stage with a few other people, but I want you to pay attention to Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock on this. This speaks volume. Me and Helen saw it just a moment ago. But here we go. Let me find it real quick. I'm sorry.
White people are rich. They're just rich forever and ever. Even their kids are rich. Yeah. But when a black guy gets rich, it's countdown to when he's poor again.
He's the blackest white guy I can know. And then all the negative things we think about black people.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are the niggerest I have ever.
Amazing. I don't think he could do that.
What?
I don't think he has those
There's
qualities.
only two.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We say nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
that's
two
the
teams
That's
here.
the difference between.
That's right. That's right. We say nigger on stage. You guys don't.
But that's definitely a pairing. Who says nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You and me say nigger in private.
No.
These two guys don't. I don't believe he says it in private.
I've given it up just because it's played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life. No. Yeah, that's it. That's the huge difference between you and me, I think.
Well, you found the humor of it.
Yeah.
I haven't found it.
Right.
Nor do I seek it.
Hard ER, wasn't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Let me tell you something.
That ER was hard, baby.
You ain't never knew the definition of coon. You look at that clip right there with Chris Rock.
Look at the coon.
And did you see how hard everybody was laughing?
Yeah.
What was the humor behind it? What was funny?
The whole town's laughing at you.
But Jerry Seinfeld kept his composure. He never really laughed. He didn't see. I said this to y'all before. The part I like the most is he said, "I haven't yet found the humor in it, nor do I seek it." Mm-hmm. That's to me so powerful that he said that.
Wow.
It should have been Chris Rock saying that, or at least Chris Rock should have made a comment afterwards. Maybe he did. We didn't show it. But when I saw that video, I said, "Look at the coon sitting up on that." No wonder Will Smith.
I got all this
dancing. He dancing for the banana.
Yeah.
And did you see the other guy, the one that ended up saying it, to the point of being a crab?
He was dying to say it.
To the point of being a crab in a barrel, you should be saying like everybody's cool to be down here until someone's up here. I don't know if he's ever said in his life, but I think it's interesting to see. There's a psychology term to this. I don't know if it's crowd think or group think, but it's interesting to see that man see a white guy, a ginger, and a black man have a very weird moment with a racial slur. And then he wanted to be a part of that group so bad.
Yeah.
So bad that his subconscious slipped up and he said it. Now it's like, that's crazy. You were that's crazy. That's the difference between us two. And now you got caught. And then you heard his laugh after that.
Yeah.
Said it.
Yeah.
That's one of those insulting laughs. That's one of those where you turn. What you laughing at? Chris Bell said Chris also got slapped. Yes, Tony said
rightfully so.
But his phone won't let him type anything. Well, thank you for updating us on that. We probably wouldn't have ever known that. You said. All right, but no, when I see something like that, I think look at the coon. It's like you sitting on stage and you have this opportunity now to educate.
That's
and
right.
the proper
Big opportunity.
Big opportunity. Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld. Y'all probably don't even necessarily know who the other comedians are. I do, and maybe y'all do. And yet, you got the two biggest comedians in the world sitting on stage. You can speak however you want. And Chris Rock is an extremely intelligent person. He could have said anything and just set the bar at that point, but he didn't. And to me, that is an issue right there. Let's go to the comments. I don't like the video at all. Neither do I. Corey Ralph says, unacceptable. Absolutely.
And to me, what's my opinion? I mean nothing, but for me, just that video, and I'm not a big Chris Rock fan, but I'm not a Chris Rock fan at all now.
Yeah. I'm not watching Pootie Tang no more.
Made for him is long gone, and so it's unfortunate that he's willing to suck bigger than Black. I'm telling you, that's what it is. But let something happen to him when he got smacked by Will Smith. He came running.
Reset.
Well, I said I hate to say this. I'm going to say this, Ace. I might lose my status as a Michael Jackson fan, but Michael Jackson, as great as his music was, he's the greatest entertainer of all time. Michael forgot he was Black. But then when Tommy Mottola and Sony and all them started screwing his money up, guess who the first people he came back to and said he's a racist? And see the words that are being used? These words were never used before. Now racism and yada 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 because you were targeted.
In defense of Mike, he was always a philanthropist, and he was always giving to the cause. But I understand what you're saying. Though. It happens to a lot of
them. Because Snoop Dogg was doing the same thing. So if we did a whole list of people,
DJ by himself.
We're gonna come back after this in a few minutes and talk a little bit more about it. But Herschel Walker is one of them. Kanye West, we said, is one of them. Candace Owens is another one. And the issue that we have is not that you see things differently than us. It's you forgetting where you actually came from for those who are still there. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget him.
Who?
Ace.
Well, hey, y'all, let's go ahead and have a quick little bit of fun real
Don't forget about the little one. I forgot about the little one, especially him.
I'm going to take a real quick break. I mean, like 30 seconds, and we'll come back just to kind of kill it, and we'll talk about something else.
Hey, I know you're about to go have a good time with your friends, but you better come back the way you're leaving. What are you... Kevin. What?
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
That's very good.
Bigger than Black. Happy Black History Month, y'all. I think we're gonna, I'm really interested in what we're gonna see this Black History Month, given that we have a new president in town, President Musk, Elon, and I keep saying that. But with all that being said, yes, it's definitely a fact. With all that being said, I'm kind of curious to see what we have. So we have this new bit that we're gonna do here in just a little bit. It's called Dun Dun Dun, actually. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that and some of the things that we've seen. But Bigger Than Black is the conversation right now. All right. Let me ask y'all some stuff. Bigger Than Black. Now, right now, of course, we've talked about the history of Democrat versus Republican, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you have a Black representative on the Republican side, and yet is there a possible way in 2025 for that person to be a strong for the cause, for the people, for the community, for the culture, and yet still be Republican?
I think so.
Yeah. But what's crazy, the person who you describing, we have a lot of them. Even though they are Republican, they wasn't on board. They voted Democrat this time around. So I think my answer to what you said is yes, because I think when it comes to the overall cause and for the Blackness, they'll step outside of what they got going on to support the people.
So when we talk these conversations, we talk about race a lot, obviously. And so Ace, me and you talked about this, I think, last week after the show. And we complain about, we as a culture talk about racism so much. My main question, let's get to the root of things. How do we know racism actually exists? And I got a reason why I want to ask. I think I sent y'all a text a couple days ago, and I'm going to bring that up here in just a little bit. I wish I could bring up the comments, but I'm going to bring up the text, and I want everybody who's out there watching to tell me how you feel about that. But I'm going to throw that question out. Absolutely, Chris Bell says. I'm going to throw it out again. Does racism exist? And if so, how do we know?
That's a good question when you kind of think about it, because some people know this because it's kind of like I kind of for some people it's a pass along ideology. Some people it's an experience. So that's a good question on a person by person basis.
Yeah, and depending on the person, it's an action. You know, you can feel it because it can be blatant, like we just witnessed with Chris Rock. That's blatant racism. That R was hard. That ER was hard. You know, and so there's no mistaking. They meant that when they said the they meant it, right? Yeah. So I think that it is. The only thing that kills me in this day and age, especially like when I see memes and stuff, is like, why are we acting like we don't know it exists? Did we forget?
Yeah.
You know, when you bring up, look what they did to black people.
Well, let me go ahead and bring up this. And I want tell me how y'all feel about this. So what happened, let me go ahead and set it up. And we probably already know. Beyonce won the Grammy for, I don't know, best country album or something a few weeks ago. All right. And so she worked hard. She put music out there, and somebody voted it. Now, of course, now that she got it, everybody wants to say Jay-Z paid $200-300 million for her to win.
He spent $200 or $300 million for one award, and she got like 130 of them at the house.
Exactly, but she still won. Yeah, I mean, if you can be bought, you can be bought, right? But all right, so I saw this. Tell me how y'all audience. I want the audience to comment and let me know how y'all feel about this. Be sure to read it. It's a meme. It says, "Congratulations, George Strait, on Hip Hop Artist of the Year."
2025.
I took this now, and the reason why I ask is because they say black people think everything is racist. That's what they say. Do y'all see this or see racism in this, or was it just too much for me, or was it just my fault?
It's funny because when racism, one of those things that you have to look at depending on the person and depending on who that's coming from. Yeah, it's racist as hell because the intent was to be racist.
I mean, actually, go ahead, shoot.
Nothing against George Strait, by the way.
At face value is just mockery. So then I go to Ace's point, like depending on who it's coming from, it might. But at face value, it's just giving mockery to me. I don't even think it's racist. They just saying that she don't deserve the award because she's not a country singer.
Let's go to the comments. Chris Bell says, "Party should have no color. Racism does exist through unconscious bias." Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. I saw this, and so just to give you a quick little history, I saw it on somebody's page that I know, Facebook, and I said, you know what? This is racism simply because I know where it's coming from, based off what Ace said, who posted it.
Yeah.
The ideal is Beyonce actually did a country song. Name a hip hop song that George Strait did. He did none. Now you may not like the album, but those who voted for it liked it, right? Did you like every album that they vote for that the people that you thought should win it, have no? And so to me, that's the reason why I see so much in this. And of course, I got attacked for it, but then I started thinking, in this world that we live in 2025, all the people disagree, Republican versus Democrat, black versus white, male versus female, gay versus straight, the list goes on and on. Maybe I'm wrong. And so I wanted to definitely bring this up. Michael Anderson says, "Good evening, good people." What's up, Michael Anderson?
What's up, Michael Anderson? Oh, he got the project back on there. Good to see. Now you ain't saying it.
You done beat me up so bad. But anyway, so bigger than black. That's what we're talking about, Michael Anderson and the rest of you guys. We thank y'all for joining us. Be sure to continue to keep the comments coming. LOL, Michael says. All right, bigger than black. So tell me, how does that make you feel to be just so welcoming as a people? Okay, what if a white dude gets up and he says the most racist thing on stage, and then comes out a few weeks later and just apologize? Are you accepting that the same way that you would accept Kanye saying, "Hey, y'all, I've been lost the last 10 years"?
No, because we don't do that. At least I don't think so. I think that the black people will be more. I don't know. Now
we're too forgiving because people show you who they like. Case in point. And the biggest problem is they hide amongst regular folks because we have a lot of white allies. There are good people, white people are great white people. But what happens is you can't tell the difference sometimes because we allow we allow those the racist people, we allow them to hide amongst them. You know, we forgive Hulk Hogan and we forgive Dog the Bounty Hunter, you know, and stuff like that because of who they are. So oh, you know, we forgive them because of who they are, and it's ruined. Like, take comedy for example. You can't, no jokes. People look at jokes sideways now because you can't tell what angle it's coming from. You know, you take a simple racial joke. If it was George Carlin, we'd be on the floor dying. Now somebody says it's kind of like, you know, I don't know about that guy, and it's problematic because we have been too forgiving and we let everybody in.
So, are you saying we're a sensitive bunch? Because that's what it sounds like. That, to me, that's what it sounds like. That we're a sensitive bunch.
No,
like,
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I want to say we're too forgiving. Like we said, we're too forgiving, and it's to a default. I'll put it like
I understand that, but what you were saying is that we now when they make jokes like that, we step back and like, what
because
like?
we were,
so it's more of a
so
sensitivity
forgiving
thing than it is a forgiving thing.
Well, because it's so forgiving that now we can't tell because we let everybody in the door.
I think we are a sensitive bunch.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
I think we're sensitive.
You with the job talk? Go ahead, Gus.
I think we're a sensitive bunch. I really do. I think we gotta grow some thicker, stronger skin in certain areas. And while growing thicker, stronger skin in certain areas, we have to then become stronger in other areas.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, honestly, I feel like the whole culture looks for this handout. And I'm not saying we want you to just give us something. That's completely not what I'm saying. But we want you to cater to our emotions and feelings. And nobody's gonna do that. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that what we have to do is we have to just kind of be stronger than that, be smarter than that, grow bigger than that. And once we do that, then we'll see better results even within our own self. Really, I mean, that's how you make America much better in its self. Dan Trapp said, "What's up? What's up, Dan?" Kramer from Seinfeld show did it. The Michael Anderson Project said, "I agree with Ace. We as the people are way too forgiving." And Kramer went crazy. There we go. Helen.
I was going to say, I think to your point of how do you know racism exists, I think is if for America to be called the United States of America, and then you look at the demographics of the people that hold power and the people that have to depend on the people in power to pay their bills because they need government assistance. There's a lot of people of color on government assistance. There's a lot more people of color in underprivileged, underprivileged in areas that have now been abandoned. So nobody wants to live there. Like, if you look at those demographics, it's people of color, Blacks.
Right. I would encourage you to really look at as far as welfare and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We might be.
Yes. Right, and I've heard about that.
It's not a landslide for sure.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not, and that's true. That's true. There's still a very big correlation with people that are underprivileged versus those majority that have the privilege. And the people that have the privilege, is very, very little diversity, if any diversity in that group. I guess is my big point.
Yeah. I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Remember, we were talking about that there's like a prestige group, but then if you take in that group because you're taking that those people, then you got to take the rest too.
Right.
You know, the rest got to go with it. You know, and I don't want to say different words because I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but you know what I mean. If you take in this group, you got to take them too. Yeah. Y'all go together in the same, and that's in every group, but especially that group. Right. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. Then it turns out to be meh.
I agree, but you have a choice to change that by voting. That's everyone vote. I vote. I vote quite a bit. To default. I get sick of voting sometimes. Because when you drive by the library over here by where I stay, there's always something to vote for. And I got vote cards, so let me just pop in there and vote real quick for something I don't have a clue about. And so the problem with that is, when we start talking about leaders, you have to look at your leader and agree with your leader, because he's going to have to do the work that we can't do. If you're talking about voting, it's a lot of stuff we vote for, and we just don't have time to always do all the research. So we need to leave that up to one person that we can truly trust. And this person can then at least explain certain things to us in a way that we can understand. And he can get hours and hours of research and explain it to us in an hour. And so we can then just follow whatever he say to do or she say do, vote. And so, voting is tough because a lot of times you just want to have your vote heard, and you just walk into the voting booth and vote for something you have no clue about. It might be tearing you apart. You might be voting for DEI or against it. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily what you're looking for. So, that's the worst part about voting. I think that's the reason why we would then need to designate one person to be our leader. Look, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl halftime. It was quite interesting, if you ask me. But who's asking?
We don't realize how we impact our young folks by just showing up and being ourselves. You do not know, I work for the Boys and Girls Club of Silicon Valley. So last year we had International Day of the Girl, and we held an event at one of our clubhouses where it's loving on women, embracing women, empowering women, and our young girls. I had to host my first time ever hosting an event. So I had to ask questions. We had a panelist. I had to keep the conversation going, also be a hype man. After I did my speech, this young Black girl, I think she was around 7, she came up to me and was like, "Don't ever change." And she just liked how I presented myself. And I almost cried, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for telling me that." And also, you never change. Like, you always speak up when you feel like you need to tell somebody some good things and keep being a young, beautiful Black woman. And to me, that was just a real moment of realizing that y'all get a piece of how I am. When I say I really don't change too much at work, I cuss less and I think a little bit more about what I say. But the energy, my smart mouth, my facial expressions, I bring that to work because this is who I am. So to be able to be in front of all these impressionable girls and have a Black girl specifically see a little piece of her in me that she came up and was like, "Please don't change," just really did something to me. So I think in that moment I was able to impact, and hopefully it stays with her and she does great things and continues to be a strong, beautiful Black woman.
Calling mama proud. Keep on inspiring these babies, girl.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
No! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game?
Oh, no. It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music. Say Drake, tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like must have on a beat, bro. Deep boat, any rap, he a freak though. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up the score. They not like us. No, they not like us. What? Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Turn this.
Good times, good times.
Yo, come on. I agree
Man.
with your mama. Yeah.
It was so much to uncover.
So, oh man.
Just watch it sometimes, y'all. That's the message. Go watch it over and over.
Over and over. You'll see something new every time you watch it. Like it, I think that this, I don't know, with no disrespect to anybody, it's just I am so proud to be Black, man. I know I'm just light skinned. I realize that. God. Yo,
and Tori Wright said
privilege.
that performance was amazing.
It was so good. It was so good.
This is what I like about that performance. It's like there was a message to be said, right? Freedom of speech was kicked off in the middle of the most important moment in American,
With
in
the
the year.
president in attendance.
The president and 2 billion people, I'm sure, watching, 110
Watching
million
it.
people.
Yeah.
And the message was well received. There's a lot of people who say they didn't like it, and that's fine. But
It's not for 'em.
But the people who say they didn't like it only saw it for entertainment purposes.
Right. They didn't get it.
They didn't. I wasn't expecting a message, but I got the message.
Woo!
You see what I'm saying? Corey Ralph Jackson says, "I loved all of it. Powerful
Me too,
message."
Corey. Me
The
too.
Michael Anderson Project says, "So freaking proud to be Black." Yes.
Honestly, this is how I expect performances to be. I don't expect performances to be entertaining. I expect them to be to be a message.
Yeah.
Let me see the story you telling through these lyrics, this choreography. I don't need to see why 10 girls shaking their booty and little and like clothes.
Yeah.
Let's not shun it now. I'm just saying it's a place for everything.
But you know, we've talked about this in the past where we be out, you right, and just random people. We don't know you, I don't know them, and they don't know me, but we'll look at each other and we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we got the message.
Yeah.
We got the message.
It's a skill that it cannot be taught. You know, we'll look at each other and we're like, girl.
Tori Wright says, "I'm proud to be black too, girl." The performance right after lift every voice in the song was perfect. You know what I enjoyed about it so much? I think I enjoyed, like, you know, we thought it was gonna be a beef, and it was more than just a beef. He threw that piece in there, but the beef wasn't with Drake. The beef was with, you know, the system.
Right.
Absolutely love that part about it. See, now we've talked about this. Here's the interesting part. Once they said Kendrick Lamar was going to be there, I was a little upset. I was like, I want to hear some Lil Wayne. I want to hear all this. I was going to be entertained. But then they put him in there. I had to accept that. Just like the people who like country or pop or rap or R&B, whatever. You have to accept the person that you wanted to be there wasn't there. So I think we understood that. Now, another thing, rappers don't just go out and just give you this performance. Usually they rap, they sing their song, and let's be real, half of the stuff they say we can't understand. The mouth is too close to the mic, they speak too fast, whatever the case may be. But he came out, and you could, if you put it on mute and just watched it, you could probably get the message.
You still got it. Yeah,
that's what I absolutely love. Dan Treff says, I enjoyed it. Always listen to music. I always listen for a message. There you go, Dan. I love it.
That's me, Dan. That's me.
Corey Jackson says it was tasteful, simple, but impactful. Perfectly put.
Agreed. Very perfectly put. I think Anthony and I, we talked about this. Even seeing the commercial with him walking, when they said he'll be coming out, I was ready.
Yeah.
It got you so pumped to even see it. Like I seen it without even seeing it. You know, the way he was walking in slow-mo, I was ready.
I loved it. The message, I loved the message and everything.
Yeah.
But what had me dying laughing was he had the powerful message and we got it. And I love the way he still was able to put a tiny ounce of pettiness in there. Still in the middle of all that, he still like,
say I gotta be honest, the first time I watched it, I think I started catching the message about midway through. Because when Sam came out, I saw Uncle Sam. I didn't see Uncle Sam. I saw Samuel L. Jackson. Right. And then about 30 seconds into it, I was like, wait a minute, this is not just a song or concert, whatever you want to call it. This is a message behind this. And I started seeing all. Hey, you said you read something about how some guy was upset there wasn't a whole lot of other races dancing.
Oh yeah, they were saying that out of all those people watching and all those, they were saying that they couldn't get one black dancer. And of course, you know, they were just looking for something. They were just looking for something to point out.
One black dancer?
I mean, it wasn't one white dancer chosen out of all those. And then somebody replied. They said, "Well, they ended DEI, so he couldn't get it on his own merit." So he was out.
Right.
I was
listen, Dan Treff said the smile got me. Yeah, when he said say Drake, he said say Drake, and then he paused on it. Man, he just stood there on the mountain for a little bit.
Dan, in the coming years, that smile, that moment, that smile they talking about. Do you know how many times we're gonna see that in the future from now on? Like when certain stuff, like that smile, that moment is gonna mean something. You know, and people just gonna show it like. You know,
You always wonder too, and by the way, Tori Wright said Samuel L. Jackson was the cherry on top. You always wonder. Sometimes you see like something happens in this great thing we call life, and it's that pivotal moment that shifts stuff, right? And then you can always kind of go back to that, even in your own personal life, where you can go back to say, "This is when I started." Blah blah blah. I wonder if the Super Bowl will have that kind of impact. I'm gonna look back and say, you know, Super Bowl LIV, whatever, is the moment that all this stuff started happening, positive or negative.
I think that it might, Anthony. And one thing that now when we talk about Black history, I think he wrote himself in the history books with that performance.
Yeah,
he wrote it. I think he was already big because of the song. People will remember that and how it was whenever. But when he did that Super Bowl, he wrote his own self into the history book.
Yeah. It's beautiful when you have the stage and it's on you at the moment and you do the right thing. Like Michael Jackson came out and he was the first Super Bowl halftime show, for those of you who don't know. Of course, they had lots of bands and stuff years before, but when they started doing it this way, Michael was the first one. And
they had to get it.
Most would say he was the greatest, and then other people would say Princess was the greatest. But this right here is definitely in my time. And I loved Usher last year. Quite honestly, I usually like most of them. But
Usher last year?
Usher was last year. I can't remember who was the year before. Beyonce maybe. But this is definitely in my top 3.
Yeah, it's definitely going down in it's definitely going down in history as one of the greats. And I think this is one of the ones, if you just look at it without even, because I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan at all, but that show was iconic. The symbolism, the message that he brought across was good. And I think it was too many people looking at it to complain than just sitting back and just watching it. Because for years, when it's other genres that people don't listen to, stuff like that, we still watch the show. You got to go with it.
He said genre. We're going. Okay. Corey, he stole your word, by the way, Corey. Iconic. He said it is iconic. And Tori Wright says, do you think Jay-Z will be over the halftime show next year? That's a great question. And I think that's yes.
He'll have to show some variety. So next year, I don't. It probably won't be country though. It'll be a big act. It'll be a big pop act or something like that next year. But you should have variety. It's Super Bowl. It's for everybody. But like I tell people about this year, you have to admit, whether you like hip hop or not, that song is like the biggest song right now. Period. Point blank. Why wouldn't it have been Kendrick Lamar?
Well, yeah, and I think, like I say, last year we had Usher, I think we had Rihanna, I think we had Dr. Dre and his crew and all that. But I mean, they didn't do enough with it. I think to myself, if I give myself what I want, I would have had Lil Wayne, Drake, and Manny Fresh and Master P and all that. And I would have just had a bunch of noise going on in Louisiana. Yeah. So I think next year they're going to be specific with it. They may not necessarily come with somebody who will have a message necessarily.
Next year is supposed to be in San Jose, California.
A Super Bowl is? Wow, the 10th largest city in America. Okay.
Wow. Do you think that Jay-Z had anything to do with the message? You think he picked Kendrick Lamar because it was just time for the message to be put out, with this presidency and all this other stuff that's going on? Did you think Jay-Z had an inkling?
I think Kendrick shocked everybody. I think he came out,
Okay.
I think he came out like, boom, this is what I'm going to give you, America.
Talk to me. I loved it.
I don't know. I think it's a great question, Yashika. I think that maybe Jay-Z had some kind of eye on it.
Yeah, because Kendrick Lamar this is not his first time with symbolism. This isn't he puts things in his music and says things all the time. So I'm wondering, did Jay-Z kind of know he would just like, because the day and time it worked for the time we have too. Why wasn't it him last year? So we can say it's because it's the Not Like Us song, and I say okay, that would bring the crowd, but I don't know. I think Jay-Z might have known a little bit.
Just a tad bit.
Just a tad bit. He might have got a little jug, because I got a lot of little thoughts that Jay-Z has said over the years about Donald Trump that makes such grand sense. And so now with him being the new president with the song, it's just a perfect storm. I believe that maybe he had something to do with that. That makes a lot of sense. Never thought about it.
Jay-Z's the owner of the NFL?
Jay-Z's the president. He's over live.
The entertainment.
The entertainment portion of it. Yeah.
But this is gonna make next year so interesting because I want to see what's gonna follow it up. I want to see, is it gonna be like a forced show to please certain folks, or is it still gonna be like, hey, who's the biggest? I'm just waiting to see how it's gonna
Well, also, I don't know if y'all heard, but his show brought in 1.35 million views, and Michael
way more.
So at the end of the day, Jay-Z did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, he definitely doing what he
And you know what's funny, Helen, is the controversy is not what brought all the views. We didn't know.
Right.
Nope.
We didn't know it was gonna be like that. We just thought we were gonna hear this song. So it was just the perfect person. So great topic. Mike Elliott said, didn't catch the message the first time. I'm going to rewatch it a little closer. Well, you know what? As we get ready to wrap this portion up, I will say Uncle Sam is Samuel L. Jackson, but he wasn't Samuel L. Jackson. He was Uncle Sam. We saw the American flag, but we saw the guy kind of protesting. Ace, you pointed that out quite a few times about Hitler, the guy who protested. Of course, there was a little beef, little battle between Drake. What else was in there that I missed?
You missed the way it was set up. It was kind of like the whole thing is a game. So it was a game console. It was like a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And you look over the top.
The wrong way sign and the lights in the audience, it said wrong way. Did you see that? And then the flag, all them looking like a flag, and then him standing up, which to me symbolized America was built on the backs of black people. So it was just, I don't know, it was good.
Amazing.
Mike, do yourself a favor, watch it a few times.
Watch it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Jay-Z probably knew. Think about his house. Okay, so you read it, Ace. I'm sorry.
Jay-Z probably knew. Think about it. Housewife Beyonce has an entire album, Black King, and a song for Juneteenth that is a message.
Mike Elliott said, "I will." Very good, very good.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us on that portion of the show. Let's go ahead and break it up a little bit. And
Everybody out.
We have no, don't leave just yet. Tamara, what's up, Tamara? She says, "Hi everyone, happy Black History Month."
How you doing?
Kiki says, "Before you do that, I would like to wish Yashika a happy early birthday."
Yeah, happy early birthday to you, Yashika.
Hey, don't try to bring it up now. You only brought it up because somebody else did. That's what I say about people.
Because it ain't your birthday. She came with an early one.
Hey, we're gonna get her some earphones from Temu, kind of like these.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
It's ours, changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000.
And you know, you can talk about windmills. They litter our country. The windmills are driving the whales crazy, obviously.
I love that dance.
I love, one of my favorite books in the Bible is 2 Corinthians.
Genius. Speaking of geniuses, that was so good.
Trevor Thomas says, before you guys end the show, happy birthday, Yashika. Now we got a few more minutes, Tamara.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I want to talk about some of the new things. First of all, Elon Musk, President Musk, there, he got his son on his. Was that not the most ghetto? I don't know what word to use. Horrible, was it not?
Bring his kid to work.
Special. It was special.
It was the weirdest, most uncomfortable. I remember, some 10 years ago or longer, when Obama wore an old all brown suit. Y'all remember that? And then Donald Trump says he's so unpresidential. He should wear a suit with the red tie, which Trump does most of the time. But then Elon comes in there. First of all, what is he in there for? And he got his son on his neck. That was so embarrassing to me.
Well, the thing about the brown suit. Thing about the brown suit is then they show pictures like 5 other presidents when they had their brown suit on.
Yeah, I remember. And Tory Wright said, I don't think he was Uncle Sam. I think he was just a character from Django. Think about it. Yeah, I can see a couple of them. He was saying the right words. So ghetto. I like that. All right, y'all. It's been an absolutely wonderful show. Bigger than black. I've enjoyed this conversation. Let's hope that it ends on a pretty positive note. It's all up to one person.
We're gonna get Chris Rock to apologize.
It's all up to one person, Yashika.
It is.
Y'all ready? All right, so here's the thing. For those of you who are new, this is what we're gonna do. We want y'all to watch this next segment, and we want y'all to vote 1 to 10 on how good it is. If it's a 1, it's terrible. If it's a 10, it's perfect. But it don't have to be a 1. It don't have to be a 10. So y'all just let us know. We need you. Lord help us, Mike Elliott says. Yes,
help us all. Help us all, Mike.
And we're talking about this last bit.
Hey, yo, who we got on the show next week?
I appreciate you for asking that.
It feels hyped up. I don't know.
I feel real good.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, I feel good about it. You know? Yeah. Hey, yo, Ace.
Hey, what's going on, Yashika?
Who we got on the show next week?
I'm glad you asked. Next week, we'll be talking to a interesting group and kind of keeping on the diversity league. We'll be talking to women treated equally in the workplace and due to their facial hair. And the name of the show will be I Like the Way You Got That Lined Up. You know, sometimes women have to be lined up to keep it fit.
Oh, yeah, keep it going.
Listen, I'm going to laugh if it's funny. And unfortunately, I'm gonna laugh when he bombs.
Yeah. Which one? Which laugh is that? Is that a laugh? Bomb laugh? Is that this?
Whatever.
We wait for the comments, y'all. Tell us 1 to 10.
Yeah, what y'all think that was?
You know what? I got to give me a group of friends like Chris Rock. I ain't got time to be hanging around y'all.
Georgia Blaze, he laughs, but he didn't give us a number. That's pretty good, Ace. Okay. How much did you pay him? Oh boy. Somebody, I won't say who, said a half, not even a full. Tony Goodson, his phone is not working right now, apparently. Eights. Michael Anderson went pretty high. Somebody, we need 2 more people to. Tony said a -4. Brought that 8 way down, didn't it?
Ace, now you need to give me my respect, Ace. I did more than that.
First thing I thought about was the landlady from Friday After Next.
Yeah, that's my name of the show. I like the way you got that lined up.
Tamara Tom, she said a 3. Oh man, it's that average is coming down. You know, I want to hear what Helen says. Helen, 1 to 10, what do you get it? That's your biggest fan, Ace.
Now you got to think about it. It's probably women at your job. You know, they got it lined up a little bit.
She HR though. She can't say nothing.
I know. I'm saying what you want to say.
Come on, Helen. Come on.
Like you can't be like Kathy. Look, you're gonna have to share that.
You see the name.
Helen's so quiet. It's like her internet messing up. But it's not. Come on. Come on. Spit it out.
So she got all the bars today. Huh?
Give that a solid 4.
Ooh, that's below average.
Solid 4. Okay.
You can do better next week. Just be glad Zach ain't here. Zach will be asking for another.
I know what you can produce. Okay.
Oh, okay.
She believes in you.
She believes in you.
Well, lucky for me, this ain't Star Search. This rebrand. So
well, hey, y'all, stay tuned. Next week, we got another great show for you. We thank everybody for joining us. Mike Elliott, Dan Trapp, Georgia Blaze, Deborah Goodson, Deborah Collette, Kiki,
Toya Wright,
Bell,
Tamara.
If we forgot you, we didn't do it on purpose. Corey Rao, thank y'all and see y'all next.
Sometimes you gotta go look at yourself and go, I'm ready to relinquish this.
I'm one of them people, hey, you gotta give a man a day in court.
The underlining of all of it is authenticity, right?
She's making them money, so they gonna put the camera on her because she is paid.
I think the prize is the other person. We have not integrated in the United States. Start buying some of the things that we have to offer. Then we will see a difference in how we act as Black people.